Hey, what's up, everybody?
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Yes, we are so glad that you guys came to be a part of another episode of Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon, where we're just real people.
Hey, dealing with real issues.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are so excited. We're moving right along.
That's right.
Someone say moving right along.
Moving right along.
Absolutely. So, Sharon, talk to the people and what we are dealing with today.
Today we're dealing with all things wealth.
All things wealth. That is what our main topic is. So, what is today's topic we're dealing with?
Okay, today's topic is putting your savings to work.
Absolutely. So, we're going to put those savings to work. You guys, we're moving right along in this new year. We are excited about what is taking place. Listen, we done paid off the debt, right?
That's right.
We got a full funded emergency fund, 3 to 6 months, right?
Yes.
And now we're dealing with savings, all right? Putting those savings to work. So we have talked about the difference between savings account
and emergency fund.
Absolutely. And now if you guys miss those shows, y'all can always go back and watch it and, at your own pace and catch up to where we are.
That's right.
We're just trying to get out of debt and stay out of debt.
That's right.
That ain't no good for nobody.
It's not.
I don't like that.
Put it behind you.
Absolutely. So listen, you guys, we're going to put this savings to work for us. We're going to talk a little bit about what is the savings and how best to deal with the savings account.
That's right.
All right, so let's dig in at it. Dealing with these savings, right? Putting your savings to work. Now, we just came the month of January, Sharon, as a no spending month. And so we got through the no spending month and it was a recovery month.
It was.
Because we had to recover for everything that happened on last year.
That's right.
So
November and December.
Absolutely, because we went through that whole
holiday season.
That's right. The last quarter of just spending everything and anything.
Yeah.
But now we're in the point that we done got our grips and got ourselves together. So we done worked and we done talked about recovering. We done talked about the emergency funds and how the importance of putting up an emergency fund for 3 to 6 months. And we shared that emergency fund is not a saving.
It's not.
Right. There is a difference. Your emergency funds should be used for exactly what it's called. It's absolutely the title is self-explanatory. The emergency fund is emergency fund. The savings is a
savings.
Absolutely. So we don't want to get the emergency fund twisted with the savings.
Savings.
Absolutely. So let's get at this thing and let's talk about it. All right. So working with the savings accounts. All right, after you done saved up your emergency funds, and this is, and again, everybody, we want you all to know that everything that we're talking about is stuff that we're living, right? We're moving right on through this with you guys. So we have not arrived all the way yet. We're definitely a work in progress. So we're just real people
with real issues,
dealing with real issues. And so we're just having a conversation.
That's right.
So we have not been in those schools or anything like that. You got to put that disclaimer out there. People coming after you. So we ain't been in no schools and no degrees, none of that stuff like that. We're just talking about life issues. We just like you guys. And sometimes what better people to hear from than somebody that done been through what you're going through.
That's right.
And somebody that's successfully coming out of things that you want to come out of. And then
you
come out of it recently, not came out of it 15, 20 years ago. Because sometimes, what worked
timing,
right? What worked back then might not. It could still work now, but it might take more of something or less of something.
That's right.
For it to work, or it might take a total different strategy for it to work for you now, right?
Yes.
So we want to just focus here today on this show about dealing with the savings, right?
Yes.
So you got anything on what the saving account really is?
Yes, a savings is an income not spent or deferred consumption.
Absolutely. You don't spend it.
No.
You don't use it for nothing else.
No. It's for savings.
It's for savings. And there are different savings accounts.
It is.
Right?
It is.
There's your primary savings account, which is what you're saving, right? And then there's your secondary savings accounts, which you will use for other things that you might be saving up for. I don't think it's wise. I learned this as I went along the way, and let me attack it from this angle. I don't think it's wise, Sharon, that we take our savings and we put it into a savings account and we just leave it there. And then when we want to buy a car or we want to go out on a date night or we want to do,
Different things.
different things, that we just attack the savings account
Yeah.
because we have it saved up. Okay, I'm gonna get this out the savings account. No, savings account is a savings account. There's a long-term savings account, which should be things like, all right, let's identify and let's differentiate the difference between the savings accounts like this. There's a long-term savings account, which should be used for your 401ks, your investment opportunities,
Your pensions.
absolutely, your mutual funds, real estate. No, well, excuse me. I'm sorry. That's investing. Let me get that right. Your mutual funds and your real estate and investment opportunities that comes. That's it's part of it. It's part of it, but there's a difference. When we say make your money work for you,
Uh-huh.
that's exactly what that part comes in as making it work. Take your savings instead of putting it. What's the average percentage rate on traditional savings accounts like at your bank or your credit union?
The average savings percentage is 0.22%.
Okay. So now you do the math on that. Okay. Take a year's worth of savings where you done saved up for such a long time, whatever, a whole year, and then do the math with that percentage and see how much your savings account gain in interest that's going to be beneficial towards you versus going to your long-term savings accounts and investing into your 401ks, right?
Yeah.
Investing into investment opportunities, investing into mutual funds and or real estate or other things that will bring you a higher percentage rate back in. Those are your long-term savings goal, retirement and stuff like that. So take your savings money. I'll take my savings money and invest into my 401ks. I max it out. And whatever the company is matching, you
You're
get all
matching.
that.
You're matching.
I don't want to leave no money on the table at my job. Everything that's due to me, I want it. If the company gonna match you 3.5, 6%, hey, max it out.
I agree. I agree.
And then after you max it out and you get into the level where you got so much income coming in because you done paid off all your debt, then you can start researching other investment opportunities, I
And
believe.
invest your money that way.
Absolutely. And now there's a thing. Now that's primary to me. All right. Secondary
Okay.
savings accounts. Secondary savings accounts to me is what I would consider short-term savings. In other words, if I want a new car, right?
Yes.
Do I go into my savings account? And I go into my 401ks? Do I go into my retirement? That's
No,
what your savings account should be, right? Is your retirement.
that's correct. But it would go into the second savings account,
Short term.
short term.
Absolutely. I think we're going to your short term account first. And label that account. This is what Dave Ramsey was talking about. If you
Or
want,
just putting it in categories of what you're trying to.
if you got a savings and you want to save up for a car,
Yeah.
then you make your secondary savings account and put car on
Label
there.
for car. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then you invest so much into that
To
car.
their account.
Now, how you able to do that is because you have paid off your debt. So now you got all your money, you got power, right? Spending power. You have all your power back into your hands because you're not taking your funds and you're not paying out all these different credit cards and all these predatory lenders that's hitting you with all this high interest rate.
That's true.
I call it never ending interest, that you be paying on these vehicles. You pay so much interest on them that by the time you get through paying the
It's not
vehicle,
worth it. It
vehicle
lost its
it
value
ain't worth anything. Matter of fact, a vehicle loses value within 30 to 90 days.
after leaving the
After
dealership.
absolutely. And so it's done lost its value way early on.
Right.
And you're paying for it all these years, and by the time you get through paying for it, they don't rip you off all that money.
That's true.
Then you got to go back and get you another car again. Start the whole process all over.
Wow.
With me, I have listened to different people, and you guys that hear me on my show, on our show, we'll taunt Dave Ramsey out there a lot because we do listen to him, and we listen to other people as well. I agree with a lot that he says because it makes sense, and I have done it when I'm doing it. and it's working. I want to reach a demographic of people and let people know that these skills and stuff work. We have to just buckle down. We complain that we don't have, we without money, we don't have the money to do this, do that. You do have it.
Yeah, it's
If
there.
you just stop paying it to everybody else.
That's right.
Stop borrowing from people and paying people back with interest.
Oh, that's so true. That's true.
That's how you don't have no money. You borrowing from the credit card companies. You borrowing from the car lot. So every time you finance a vehicle, you borrowing from this one, robbing Peter.
The PayPal.
That's what you've been doing. And we can come out of that, right? So get your secondary saving account, right? This is what we've done, right?
That's right.
So we don't want to go into the 1K plan
No, you don't.
to buy a car. And I done heard tell of a lot of people that went into their 401K, their retirement plan.
To buy a vehicle.
Yeah, or to buy a home or whatever the case may be. I don't know. That just don't seem like something that's there to do. I think that's there for your later life to live on and
Yeah, I agree to that as
be
well.
comfortable and not having to depend on anybody to take care of you or to do anything for you. You want to be a giver, even in your old age. But you got to start now putting things
Preparing yourself
in
for
motion.
later.
Absolutely. Put things in motion and have things ready for when, you get into your later life. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So have your primary savings should be your retirement, should be your long-term stuff, your later life stuff. That's what you're saving for. Why?
Yes.
Ask yourself this question. Ask yourself on the other side of Miss Katrina, though. We'll be right back.
Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast with Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon. They truly appreciate your support. Thank you for following them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, subscribing to their YouTube channel. If you would like to make a contribution towards the podcast to further its reach, please feel free to do so with Cashapp, $ Let's Conversate. Again, thank you for watching Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon. Back to today's podcast.
Okay, so ask yourself this question right here. What am I saving for?
Yeah.
It's a very important question for
It
people to ask
is. It
themselves.
is.
This is a self-asking question.
What am I
Saving
for?
for? Because I feel like that we lose focus on what we're really saving for. And I think we mix up our short-term goals with long-term goals.
Yeah.
Some people save up, all they focus on is I'm saving up for a car. They ain't even a car, that's a short-term goal. That don't have nothing to do with your later life,
Long-term.
your retirement, your investment. So no, you're not saving up for a car. You're not saving up for a wedding.
Yeah.
You're not saving up for honeymoons. You're not saving up for child tuitions.
Yeah.
You're not saving up for any of those things. All those things are, to me, secondary. What you're really truly saving up for is retirement,
For the
life
long,
after
for the
work.
long haul.
Absolutely. Now, your short-term goals are those things that we just said that you wasn't saving up for.
Yeah.
Which is weddings and different things like that. So you set something aside, right? After you done paid off all your debt and after you got 3 to 6 months of your emergency funds, then now you investing.
Mhm.
So you're investing into the stocks and shares. And I would like to do a show, and we're gonna do a show on some good ideas on some of the different investments and stuff and I'll share some of the things that we are investing in, and you guys want to research some of that, and feel free. Now, each is on your investment thing, but we're just trying to help people with steps to look at things in a different light, in a different way, because we have been looking at things, I feel like, the wrong way too long, and that's why we have spent the vast majority of our adult lives not being the best givers that we can be and that we want to be, is because we have been for so long mismanaging our funds
Finances.
and our family. Absolutely. So let's get this don't forget to pray moment in real quick, and we'll come right back on the other side of that. All right. Hey, it's another segment that we added to the show. It's your Don't Forget to Pray moment. We got Sharon over here. Tell them why they don't need to forget to pray.
Yes. Today's Don't Forget to Pray moment is brought to you by All Things Wealth, where you're in control and not being controlled, where your money works for you. I want to give you a scripture today. Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Again, that scripture is Proverbs 13:22. And now back to today's podcast.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, we don't need to forget to pray. We need to pray always, right?
That's right.
Hey, the Bible said pray without ceasing. Hey, listen, we need to pray though, because every time we seem like we're trying to save up something, here comes somebody always wanting to have something, you always need something. Minute you try to say, you be like, God, I don't get. Every time I get something saved, here come the blow Joe. You know, Caddy Sue. Need something all the time. But listen, sometimes you gotta let your no be no and your yay be yay.
That's right.
If you don't have it to give it without looking for it back, chances are you don't have it to give it anyway. All right. So let's get right back to this thing, you guys. Listen, the long-term thing to this is saving up for retirement.
That's right.
So if there's a question that being asked of what is a savings, your savings is what?
It's
long-term.
It's a long-term.
Long-term retirement. Your later life.
That's right.
Your glory years.
The glory years.
Yeah, them years that you say just you want your whole head to turn white.
Yeah.
All right. So is that what she's saving up for? That's no, I'm just kidding. But so listen. So those are that's what a savings is.
It is.
It's long term. And that's what when we saving, we should be focused on. The long term.
The long term.
Not the short term thing. I think we should stop mixing up or learn to stop mixing up what is secondary to what is primary.
Yes.
Primary is I got to save up for retirement for my later life. That way I could continue to live and support myself and support my loved ones and my children. That's your long term.
It is.
In weddings, college, automobiles, any of that other stuff is secondary.
Yeah, it's secondary.
So what you have to do is you have to create where you have extra funds. This is why, you know, so many of those wonderful people out there, Dave Ramsey and different ones, they teach and they pound get out of debt. But the credit card companies, they don't want you to get out of debt. They want you to remained in debt. That's why they keep hiking up your interest. See, here's the game. They give you big limits, a $5,000 credit card.
Yeah.
But out of that $5,000 credit card, they only want you to spend no more than about 30% of that $5,000 credit card.
That's right.
So that's about $1,500 or something like that on a $5,000 credit card. Now, they got the $5,000 out there. Now you can use it.
Yeah.
But if you use the whole $5,000, chances are a couple things going to happen. One is your credit score is going to go down.
Go down.
Two is you're going to get so overwhelmed with that bill and other bills trying to pay that bill off, and the interest is going to eat you alive, that it can discourage you and it can cause you to falter further in debt.
Yeah.
But if you're using the 30%, is what they recommend that you don't go over, because chances are the more money you have, the more things you're going to accumulate and the things that you feel like you're going to need, which a lot of the stuff is not things that you need, but more so things that you want.
Yeah.
So they put the 5,000 before your face.
Okay.
I'm using just this number as my example. They put the 5,000 before your face, but they tell you, hey, if you want to continue to have good credit with us,
keep it under 30%.
Keep it up under 30%. Now we're going to allow you to use this 5,000, but if you use it, it's going to cause your score to go down. So as you're using the 30% and paying it off and using it and paying it off, you come accustomed to that lifestyle. So therefore you become dependent on it and you start needing it every month.
Yeah.
So what they want to do is you always want to keep it on 30%. So it starts you to looking for enhancing the spending limit. They want you to, so then you're going to want to, so okay, I need to use more than 15, but I want to keep good credit, so I need them to take the 5,000 up to 750 now.
Okay.
That'll give me a new percentage, a 30 percentage, or higher than 15 that I'll be able to use. That take me up about 18 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But if I could get them to take it that 5,000 and double it to get it to 10, now I could use $3,000 and still remain good credit and just pay it off. It's a game.
Yeah, it is.
It's not to help us.
It's not.
So the best thing to do, I lost my original thought, but I needed to say that. I'm telling y'all that somebody needed that right there.
Yeah.
Somebody needed that right there because we're just getting too dependent on using other folks' money. And I know there's a lot of people out there on YouTube and they teaching get rich and use up everybody else's money. Don't use your own money. No, use your own money. Make your money work for you. Leave everybody else's money alone because you bother with everybody else's money. What got you probably in the mess that you're in now.
That's true. That is so true.
So best thing to do is just leave folk money alone, pay them folk off, and then take your money and know how to disperse your money amongst things that you got going on in your private life. Allocate your money in different areas, prioritize some things, get things together, and live within your means. What you got?
What I want to bring up is each pay cycle, you should at least have 20% of your income going towards your savings.
Okay. 20% of your income going to your savings. There's an argument on is it 20% of net or your gross? I don't have the answer for that. Like we already told y'all, we don't have all the answers.
That's right.
And we don't even try to act like we got all the answers. But we know somebody who have all the answers. So what we just offering is a conversation about real life issues because we real people. Again, man, we just got to save it up right.
That's right.
Listen, I think we're gonna go too far. We better go ahead and get these shout outs out the way. Let's get these shout outs, scroll it down. All right, it's time for these shout outs once again. Listen, if you're in the Orlando area, New Chief Cornerstone, they are located at 820 South Park Avenue, Winter Garden, Florida, under the leadership of Dr. Clarita M. James and Pastor Norman James. If you're in that Orlando area and you need a church to attend, stop in. Tell them Josh and Sharon sent you. Also, Christ the Redeemer Ministry, 4721 East Moody Boulevard, Palm Coast, Florida, under the leadership of Apostle Robert and Betty Davenport. Listen, stop in. If you're in the Palm Coast area, see Pastor Davenport. Listen, if you want to church here in Tennessee, the Church of Churches, yes, that is none other than New Hope Church of God in Christ, 303 South University Street, under the leadership of Pastor Anthony and Lady Graham. This is a church of churches where you can clap your hands, stomp your feet. Come on to New Hope. Yes, New Hope. Also, we want to just thank everybody that supports us, that always show love to this podcast. We thank you wherever you are. It means the world to us. So keep liking, subscribing, and sharing. All right. All right, everybody, listen. So back on this topic of dealing with our savings, putting your savings to work for you. Listen, the main thing is that I didn't really get hard on it about why is this a bad idea. And we're going to continue to do with this. We're going to come back at it again. But we want to talk about why it's a bad idea to put all your money in a traditional savings account, like at your bank. It's not a good idea to have it there. Your money not working for you. So let's do that. Why it's a bad idea to put your money in a traditional savings account like your bank. And we need to figure out what works. And Sharon brought up something excellent. You know, the percentages. She was talking about what percentage that you should put into your savings account. And we're talking about every pay period, what percentage out of your money should go there. And I know you guys want us to do a video on that, talking about the different percentages. So we're going to work on talking about percentages. You know, what percentage of, your pay should be going. Okay, we know number one thing that you need to do is have your money separated. That's for your recurring bills. That's automatically. And then you get that separated. Then you got what's next. If you done paid off all your debt and you done saved up to 3 to 6 months emergency funds, now you're dealing with savings and investing. So now we need to figure out how what percentage to put into different accounts that's dealing with savings, because you got the long term, which is your 401ks and different things like that, and your retirements and things like that. And then you have your investings, and you got short terms like buying cars, paying for a wedding, different things like that. Nice bedroom set that you might want to buy. So
Or
those
furniture.
are absolutely furniture. Those are your short term savings. So now we need to figure out what is
What's next?
what's the percentages. Absolutely, what's the percentages that we're going to allocate towards those different accounts and everything. So we're going to hammer this thing this month. Just keep it coming, you guys. And we hope that something we said today that would be attractive to you guys. And that we put a bug in your ear. Listen, we might not got everything right, but listen, we got you talking. And if we achieve that goal, then we done our job. And our job is just to get you talking.
That's right.
Get you concerned about where your money going. You might say, Josh and Sharon, y'all got this part wrong. That's fine. We don't have all the answers. So remember, we're just real people walking through this along with you. We don't claim to have already made it and already have it. We're walking through the process. But as we walk through the process, we're finding what works for us, and we're sharing it along with you guys as well, okay? So listen, you guys, we're glad that you guys came to be a part of another episode of Let's Conversate with Josh and Sharon, where we're real people dealing with real issues. Absolutely. So until next time, deuces.
Bye.